The Basilica of the Holy Sepulcher is the place that preserves the paschal memory of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, events that were fulfilled here and continue to be mystically fulfilled in the faith, liturgy and memory of Christians who place the mystery of redemption in this tomb. The Basilica of the Holy Sepulcher is an ancient construction, dating partly from the time of the Crusades in the 12th century and partly from even earlier times. The history of the Basilica has been well documented over the centuries through testimonies and narratives that help us examine and understand it. In this second installment, we will continue to follow the biblical texts, the signs left by the first pilgrims, tracing the events through the study of the archaeological remains that bear witness to the passage of the centuries. And this is very important for us because it also helps archaeologists to understand, to read archaeological findings and more. The archaeological findings help us to better understand the pilgrims' tales. This is the relationship of continuous mutual enlightenment between the ancient sources and the archaeological record. Destroyed and rebuilt several times, in 1927 the basilica was hit by a very strong earthquake which caused the destruction of Jerusalem. In 1960, restoration work began in the Basilica of the Holy Sepulcher, a work documented step by step for 20 years. The three communities present at the Holy Sepulcher elected Brother Virgil Corbo as archaeologist for the work in the common parts, a task that engaged him for 17 years, from morning and evening. It was 20 years of arduous archaeological work and restoration which led to an important result. In the presentation of the series on the Holy Sepulchre, Father Virgil Corbo wrote, "We have finished our research work and are presenting it to scholars. We only want to hope that it will be read with love for the one who is the triumphant figure of this monument."
L'opera dello Studium Vivum Franciscanum.
The work of Franciscan study fits on a much older history. The friars, ever since they settled in the Holy Land, have always tried to acquire the traditions and also the properties of the places of the Holy Land. The study of the places of the Holy Land does not only begin with the SBF. There has been the work, to give two really prestigious examples, of that Father Bernardino Amico and Francis Lent, and we are in the 16th century. Franciscan biblical study has made a remarkable contribution to the knowledge and study of the holy places, especially from a scientific point of view. With the study of the sources and with the excavations conducted on the places, and it has made many places known in the world, no doubt.
Tanti luoghi.
Thanks to the agreement between the heads of the three communities responsible for the Basilica, Franciscans, Greek Orthodox and Armenians, restoration work on the edicule of the Holy Sepulchre began in spring 2016. The intervention team established by the University of Athens under the direction of Professor Antonia Moropoulou involved no less than 50 professionals, including professors and technicians of different specializations. A historic moment for the Christian world, but also for the scientific world, in a work in which faith and science meet. In 2019, a new agreement was signed between the heads of the three communities to begin a new phase of underground work to restore the floor of the Basilica. Two Italian institutes, the Center for Conservation and Restoration of Cultural Heritage, La Venaria Reale in Turin, in collaboration with the Departments of Sciences and Antiquity at La Sapienza University in Rome. These have been studying the Basilica's underground for an executive project of restoration work. Thanks to the mapping of all the floor stones which were removed to allow for the renovation work, it was then possible to reposition the slabs in exactly the same place on which millions of pilgrims have walked over the centuries. For Dr. Francesca Stassola, the work of Brother Virgil Corbo was of great help in developing this phase of the work.
Il contributo di Padre Virgilio Corbo è stato determinante per i nostri scavi.
Father Virgil Corbo's contribution was instrumental in our excavations. Father Corbo was able to follow the work of the Jordanian administration during the occasion of a series of works for public utility. He was able to turn them into real archaeological investigations. It is a great responsibility to conduct an archaeological excavation. It is always a great responsibility, because it is the responsibility to return, to interpret, to give back a portion of history.
A work of great responsibility carried out in synergy among several institutions.
È una grande responsabilità.
And in this place, the responsibility is perhaps greater, because it means trying to understand, interpret, and return a version of history that is also sacred history. And on this, I feel very fortunate, because there is an extraordinary team of not only archaeologists, but also scholars from other disciplines collaborating on this. From this point of view, I'm confident that all together, and together with all those who support this project as well, we will be able to accomplish the task.
Non solo di archeologi, ma anche di studiosi di altre discipline che collabora a questo.
Voglio ricordare anche gli ottimi rapporti che si sono.
I also want to mention the excellent relations that have been established between the team that is conducting the work and the Franciscan study that are actively collaborating in this work. Father Alliata and Father Amedeo Ricco.
Padre Eugenio Alliata e Padre Amedeo Ricco.
È un'opportunità straordinaria.
It is an extraordinary opportunity for any scholar to be able to be part of this team of archaeologists. But the team is not just made up of archaeologists. Behind it are the historians, the philologists, and a whole great team in the service of understanding ancient sources and archaeological findings. It is a great opportunity, and we are all aware that we are doing work that is not our own, but it is for all humanity and all of human history. This place has been an important place because then the faith of Christians has also been instrumental in the history of mankind.
E per tutta la storia dell'umanità.
At the beginning of this year, a new phase of work at the Holy Sepulchre opened, following the completion of work around the rotunda of the wayside shrine. And in the words of Dr. Stassola, it will be very interesting in the coming years to see the studies that will be published, studies that will summarize the work of these archaeologists and restorers who have worked here.